Not racist, and I know y'all been told this is racist, but it's not. It's not racist to call Black people out for their behavior and what they're doing to society at this moment. I'm glad people are noticing this because it's been so many years and it's finally catching up to y'all. I've been trying to tell y'all that white people are tired of y'all. I'm tired of y'all too, but everybody, the world is getting sick of y'all and y'all's. I'm so glad this day is here. I've been trying to get out there that you people need help. It's me, but me and other Black conservatives. We've been trying to warn society that this is what it's going to come to when y'all keep coddling Black people.
Welcome back, Warriors. It's me, Linda B. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. All right, we got to talk about Black fatigue. I know you've been hearing this viral trend going around all over the internet. And Black fatigue, we're going to talk about that today on Chat with Me, Linda B. Before we get into it, Warriors, don't forget to smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and make sure you select all notifications so that you never ever miss a video that I post. Now let's get into it. All right, I have got a clip from this local news station. This is coming from Fox 26 in Houston. Okay, and this is the Isaiah Factor with Isaiah Carey. And he has a panel of liberal and conservative people, Black and white, talking about this very same phenomenon, Black fatigue. And it's really about Black people, not just Black people, anybody that can get tired of the subset of Black people, not all Black people, of course, that always complain, always talk about being the victim, never taking personal accountability, always fussing about things that have happened in the past and acting loud and ghetto. And we are tired of it. But see this from the Isaiah Factor.
Now to Black fatigue, it has recently been turned into a feeling that some white and Black people have who say they are damn tired of foolishness of some Black people, the claims of racism from sunup to sundown, loud talking, fighting, and the list goes on. Not my list now, keep that in mind. But some people are tired of the complaints and don't give a damn. Here's what one TikTok user had to say about it.
Not racist, and I know y'all been told this is racist, but it's not. It's not racist to call Black people out for their behavior and what they're doing to society at this moment. I'm glad people are noticing this because it's been so many years and it's finally catching up to y'all. I've been trying to tell y'all that white people are tired of y'all. I'm tired of y'all too, but everybody, the world is getting sick of y'all and y'all's. I'm so glad this day is here. I've been trying to get out there that you people need help. It's me, but me and other Black conservatives. We've been trying to warn society that this is what it's going to come to when y'all keep coddling Black people.
All right, we're going to pause for a moment to hear about how you can better protect your retirement savings with Augusta Precious Metals. Augusta Precious Metals is an A+, Better Business Bureau rated company. You know, in today's market, with the stock market being uncertain and tariffs and inflation is getting better, but still the better way to protect your retirement savings is with actual gold. Augusta Precious Metals can show you how to do this in a few easy steps. Click the link in the description box below today so you can find out how you can better protect what you've worked so hard for with Augusta Precious Metals. Click the link in the description box below today.
Political analyst Angela Box, activist Eugene Howard, filmmaker Sean Welling, and conservative M. Williams. We want to thank you all for joining us here on The Factor. First of all, let's define what Black fatigue is supposed to be, Dr. Jones.
Black fatigue is supposed to be just and I'm trying to make it as short as possible. Basically, society is saying that they're tired of how Black people are blaming things that have happened to us historically in the past on what's happening today. And they are also now adding different things that they have seen in society to that behavior as well. As she said, like loud mouthing or maybe, using certain words or certain behaviors in public. So that's basically the definition in a short sense.
Do we get anywhere with that, with this conversation?
No, this absolutely
Okay, good
is
night, folks.
I mean, the thing is, it's an absolutely pointless conversation. It's like, okay, so now what? Thank you for letting us know that there's a new fancy word of you saying that you're tired of Black people,
Mhm.
and you put it on the internet, and now people are co-signing on it, including with the way the environment is already. But it's okay. You put a nice new name to it, and now you feel like it's okay to say. And it's not going to do anything for anybody to now pander this term around, to pass it on in the internet and put it in people's mouth and make people feel encouraged to say, I have Black fatigue. But when we're all tired, when I'm saying, oh, we're all tired of something and somewhere, there's always something.
Mhm.
So this is not actually going to help anyone psychologically, mentally, emotionally. It's only going to create more divisiveness, more anger, and more hate in society.
And when we see a lot of people, especially Black people, joining that chorus,
Mhm.
saying that I'm tired of Black people too,
Mhm.
what will that do?
It's not going to do anything, because here's the thing, that Black person or the Black people that are on the internet saying that can go somewhere and they're going to be already stereotyped into the group that they're trying to separate themselves from just because they're Black. You actually have to be around people to see their behavior. You have to witness their behavior to actually understand who they are. But she could sit there and be in a crowd of a room of Black people, and guess who she's going to be included in that group as well. She's not doing anything that is going to help her or her race at this time.
All right, Angela, let's hear from you. Your thoughts about this
Angela.
Black fatigue.
Well, with all due respect to Angela, number one, I really disagree with this. It is a completely behavior-based issue. And when white people, Black people, Hispanic people are saying we have Black fatigue because of the behavior of some Black people, we've all seen it. We all know what it is. It's everywhere. And, the issue is way more insidious than people realize. And I talk about how a lot of these things come back to what the Democrat Party has done to the Black community purposefully, starting with the Great Society of Lyndon B. Johnson, who he famously said, I'm going to have these N-words voting Democrat for the next 200 years. When Democrats said you don't need fathers in the home, you can be on welfare and have as many babies as you want. And oh, by the way, we're going to destroy public schools, and we're going to make sure that behavior standards are seen as racist. So the out of control behavior that we've seen in the classrooms, in society, all over, is part and parcel of what the Democrat Party has done to the Black community.
All right, Eugene, let's hear from you.
Now, I got to say, the last lady, I agree with her. And some liberal gonna get in this. You just agree with her because she's white. I'm Black, idiot. Seriously? No, I agree with what she said. It could have been it could have been a person burnt like charcoal saying it. I agree with the sentiment. I have always talked about the Democrat policies that have harmed the Black community. I've talked about this numerous times on this channel. I don't make it a secret that I cannot stand what they have done to all of us, but they started, to me, in my opinion, with Black people using us as a guinea pig. Let's use them as a guinea pig. Let's take the fathers out of the home, and let's lower the standards in education even. Let's make it an equitable outcome without them really trying to get the help they need so they can succeed on their own without me giving them an artificial outcome on their test scores. They're doing this on purpose. The demon rats are doing this on purpose. It has been going on for decades. And like she said, Lyndon Baines Johnson reportedly, a famous quote of him saying, I'll have these ends voting Democrat for the next 200 years. And it's been about 65 years now. And we've been voting, not me personally, because you know how I like to roll. I vote based on policy, and I look at things that are actually happening out in the community in these Democrat-controlled areas. Baltimore, New York, LA, Chicago, Philadelphia, Memphis. These are Democrat strongholds, and most of the time it's a Black Democrat at that. And these are primarily Black areas that are doing poorly, impoverished, crime-ridden, poor-performing schools, out-of-wedlock births, broken homes, and the most outrageous behavior you can ever imagine. So if we're going to keep it 100 and hold people accountable, we need to do that and stop telling white people they can't have a thought or express themselves like they can't notice anything. We have free speech in this country the last time I checked.
you before we have to take a break.
Man, why are we all? What does the Democrat Party have to do with black?
Everything.
Hold on. Okay. First of all, I think he asked Eugene. So last time I checked, I'm Eugene on stage. So the Democratic Party has nothing to do with black fatigue. What the original term from the actual black community of black fatigue was after every other community decided to vote. Since you want to talk politics, Donald Trump, then black folks said, we're going to sit this one out. We're going to let this thing burn down and we're going to go have a good time because we're tired. We have been struggling. Our grandparents, our great-grandparents, our great-great-great-great-great-grandparents have been fighting this same fight. So if you guys want to turn around, and he said the N-word, why don't you guys feel so comfortable? Just say it. Just go ahead and say the N-word. We're if it's so okay, if you're so fatigued, if you don't want to recognize the civil rights plight, go ahead and say the N-word. No one's stopping you. It's a free country,
I don't
right?
need show, Eugene.
I mean, I'm just
about to
saying.
lose me my show.
but that's my point. It's a lot of things that they want to use code words, whether it's DEI, whether it's black fatigue. They just want to be able to say the N-word without being able to say the N-word.
So do you not find certain behaviors objectionable? Or you think it's cool?
Listen, I live in a real community. I see a whole bunch of unruly white folks, Hispanic folks. So it's not just the black community, but we always want to emphasize on black when it's negative.
Emenderlin, let's begin with you. As a conservative, your thoughts about black fatigue.
Well, whether you like black fatigue as a name or not, it's the truth. Like, we're tired of the victimhood mentality, the trauma identification, the need for external, agreement. That's ridiculous. That's terrible for the black community right now. That's terrible for the children growing up. I mean, there's so many broken homes, and I think that's the core foundation. Number one, I believe the core foundation is that the parents failed to not only unify the home, but also failed to put true identity in God in the children. So if you don't have identity in God, you don't have identity at all. That's number one.
Do you at all see the black community as a lost cause or just
Absolutely
some
not.
individuals? What?
I don't believe the black community is a lost cause at all. I just believe that we need to stop as a whole with all of this complaining. We need to move past the past and, become better. As an American, my parents were actually Nigerian. They came here in the 80s and they grew up here. They had me and my brothers, and we're all successful and not one complaint through our entire childhood. They said, work for what you need, work for what you're gonna get. And you will get it. God placed talent in all of us, black, white, whatever you may, call yourself. But God placed, all of these great things within us. Why should I now say, oh, well, a white person thinks this of me, or there's racism here and there? I don't think about that. I don't wake up every morning and have racism and all of these negative things on my mind. I move forward and I move past that.
All right, Sean, let's hear from you. Your thoughts about this conversation and the term that we now hear.
And again, I was so taken by your speech. The term we're talking about is black. What was it again? It's
Fatigue.
Okay. So on black fatigue, and come from somebody, and I think I agree with her tremendously, having a school for 3 decades, was the first hip-hop dance school in the country. It's a cancer to tell a young kid that they're oppressed, that they're less than, and the world's against them. Right from the beginning, you're setting a standard by which they have to overcome something when really you need to put God in them and tell them how great things are for them.
Amen.
So I was never around black people to complain. All the actors and dancers I was around, they had a sense of purpose. They were dynamic and they never complained. So to me, it's really what I get is in social media is a lot of white people complaining and creating this problem saying, look, watch out, these people are in trouble. I'm like, back off. Mm-hmm. Let them create their own destiny.
Absolutely.
So I don't see that as being the black issue. I see more of a liberal white situation when they're not even in a position to complain or talk about it. They're virtue signaling, and it drives us nuts.
Okay.
Dr. Jones?
The conversation that we're having here is whether black fatigue is a real thing. But the problem is that the reason this topic has come back up is because of the viral video that recently came out of the woman that called a 5-year-old autistic kid the N-word. Mm-hmm. And then she raised $700,000 by a Christian organization. And I am Christian as well. So I just want to put that out there as well. And she raised $300,000 from another organization. I don't know if she actually got that money. But then this video from the person who originally started putting this on TikTok came out in reference to that.
Yeah.
Now, I am a first generation American as well. And I was taught a certain way as well. But what we cannot ignore is the things that have set us back as a community. The reason we are not where we're supposed to be is because we are still only a couple of decades away from what we have been oppressed from and the things that we have gone
Constantly
from.
looking at the past.
My
Wait,
grandma, I'm
really quick,
talking.
let
I'm
Dr.
talking.
Jones talk.
Okay. And so my grandmother, who just passed away last week, was there for the civil rights, was there for everything like that. And I was there to see all of those things as well. It cannot be ignored that these things are still oppressing our community. I understand and I actually agree. Like, I was instilled hard work, go to school, do what you're supposed to do. And I did, but I'm not going to sit there and ignore as though the people in my community, not everyone had that opportunity. So at the end of the day, to say like, yes, we're tired of it, but let's go in every community. We could sit there and say there's white fatigue, there's Hispanic fatigue, there's Asian fatigue, there's fatigue in everywhere. But the problem is that they're always emphasizing the Black community as the pitch. It's the behavior in every
The
community.
behavior is the problem. Now, here's what's disgusting. We're coming up on the 5-year
And we got 30
anniversary
seconds,
of
guys.
the St. George, Florida fentanyl dying. And every white liberal, and excuse me, every white liberal on planet Earth said that George Floyd is the epitome of Black people, and we had billions and billions of dollars that didn't cause his death. He wasn't murdered.
That's off topic.
Millions and millions of
That's off topic.
dollars.
Thank you, guys. We want to thank you for joining us here on
It's
The
the truth.
Factor for
Hallelujah.
this segment.
He wasn't murdered.
Whoa, that got heated, didn't it? Yeah, bringing up George Floyd, and his knee was not on the neck, according to the official medical examiner, the first medical report. Okay, the autopsy report. The first one, I did a video on that. The knee it was a tricky camera angle. The knee was actually on the upper part of the shoulder, and it was a legal move. However, I do not agree that he should be pardoned because he failed to render aid. And I know that's a controversial opinion amongst conservative people. Everybody conservative, for the most part, says, yes, free Derek Chauvin. I say no. You know, I stand up for what I believe in. I stand 10 toes down. I'm not some puppet saying what people want to hear, even if it's something controversial amongst the conservative group that I find myself in. Okay. But yeah, the liberal people never want to take, it's like the focus is always on what happened to us is the reason we're this way. What happened to us? There is a lack of personal accountability. And that is what is bad. That is what is wrong. I told you what they're doing in the school system, developing a manufactured equitable outcome. So if a person does nothing, that they don't even turn in their homework, they don't get a 0 like they used to and have to pull themselves up, so to speak, by their bootstraps. They're given 50% for doing nothing. We're trying to keep a person dumbed down and instead of striving. Instead, we need to catch that person up in the skills where they lack. If they have problems in reading comprehension, catch them up through hard work, determination, tutoring, mentoring. That is what we should do. Not just not address those issues, but keep them where they are academically, and then have the nerve to just give them a score that they did not earn. We want meritocracy. We're not stupid. We don't need you handing us anything. Now, we realize that certain, people growing up in a fatherless home contributes to a lot of bad things. And one person brought up, I think it was, the blonde lady brought up, fatherless homes and all the things that the Democrats did by design. It was done on purpose because they love being in control. And I did a video about the Clintons, Bill and Hillary Clinton, owning Black slaves at one point while he was governor in Arkansas in the governor's mansion. Yes, this was in the 80s, the 1980s. You guys watch that video. But I am telling you that this was by design. And it is not, I've seen white people that act horrible. I don't know what's going on where I live, walking around looking, dressed any kind of way, no respect, talking any kind of way, hair messed up, just not looking right. The bad personal hygiene is not good. So it can be any ethnic group. I've seen Latinos do the same thing. You rarely see an Asian person doing that, but it's some of everybody. Don't get me wrong. But the videos that are getting the most attention are the ones that involve Black people. But at the end of the day, every one of us, no matter what we look like, need to take personal accountability. And speaking of which, when Black people did not have civil rights, we were actually doing better as far as marriage rates. The children were respectful and law abiding. The Black home was intact. Fathers and mothers raising their children. We were some of the most churched people. So it's really not the injustices of the past, so to speak, that's got us like this. We overcame that by the grace of God because we were a God-fearing people. That's what got us through. We don't need government handouts. We don't need reparations. Some of you may say reparations are old. That's your opinion, but we don't need to focus on anybody giving us anything. We look to the Lord. We focus on God. And this grievance against white people and being mad and upset about this was taken from us. We were stolen from our land. We were sold over here. And most white people, can we agree, if you look at history correctly, most white people did not own slaves, did not. That was a very small portion. Most of nobody owned slaves. But the way history is depicted, you would think every white person owned slaves, and that's not true. There were white people that helped Harriet Tubman in the Underground Railroad. There were good white people that helped, but the focus is on the racist ones, and they long been gone, dead and gone. Dead and gone, and we still focusing on it. It's really a cop-out, in my opinion. I don't care what anybody says and anybody get mad. It's a cop-out from trying. You don't want to try. And it's been fed into a child that you are oppressed. Just like that, I think he was Hispanic, that Hispanic man to the left of the screen. He said something that is very true as well. Being told that the world hates you, being told you're oppressed, being told you can't make it because the white man's foot is on your neck, being told that from a little child and constantly it being reinforced, that is creating in that child, the desire not to try. And that is also by design. And you will find that in public school systems. So I'm an advocate of other forms of education, like a Christian private school that's going to teach godly principles, or homeschooling. It is really the fact that the Great Society by Lyndon Baines Johnson took the fathers out of the home, and then things were brought into the Black neighborhood, like drugs and gangs and things like that. These things were done on purpose. And that is really, and even then, you still got to take personal accountability, because that is your surrounding. Doesn't mean you have to partake in it. Personal accountability is key. Stop focusing on the past. Get past the past. Move forward. Do what you need to do to make your life better. Focus on the Lord. It will happen in time. Work hard and pray without ceasing. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Don't forget to smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe to my channel, hit all notifications. You all be blessed. Love God, your families, these United States of America, and march on, warriors.